everyone. My name is Denver Governor, and I'm the director of an organization called Global Peace Exchange at Florida State University. Global Peace Exchange, or GPE for short, is a student-run nonprofit that partners with non-governmental organizations in developing countries. We've sent teams of students to over 8 different countries, including India, Guatemala, Moldova, and Uganda. This year, our summer projects are going to be in Cambodia, Ghana, Nepal, and Rwanda. Now, there are plenty of reasons as to why you should join GPE, but for lack of time, I'm only going to mention 3. Reason 1, we pride ourselves on student development. Reason 2, we work on sustainable projects only. And reason 3, we are one of the most cost-effective international programs at FSU. If this sounds like something that might be of interest to you, then you're listening to the right person. When I first came to FSU, I had no intention of traveling abroad this summer. I had no intention of leading a group of students to a rural village in Ghana, and I definitely had no intention of one day running an organization. I personally give all the credit to a free food sign I once saw in the hallway about a year ago. This may sound a little weird to you, but if I had never seen that free food sign, then I wouldn't have gone to the GPE meeting that was taking place. I wouldn't have met the people who would eventually become my family away from home. I wouldn't have embraced my inner drive to do better than my best. Obviously, food isn't the only reason for my success, but it is quite apparent that students develop a lot of necessary skills through Global Peace Exchange. After volunteers are selected in the fall, much devotion and time is placed into preparing students both mentally and culturally to live in a developing country for 2 months in the summer. Each volunteer is required to participate in 2/3 of all activities, which may include, but not be limited to, team challenge courses, English training, intercultural dialogue, camping trips, self-defense courses, as well as many other activities. We also host grant writing workshops and encourage students to participate in events that are hosted by other organizations with similar missions to our own. These include Empowering Women Globally, Students for Ending Poverty, and Engineers Without Borders. GPE was awarded the Best Student Organization Award by the Student Council in 2014, and our alumni agree. 85% of former GPE members are currently or planning on providing foreign service through Peace Corps, international organizations, or by working with a non-governmental organization. 95% of former GPE members felt as though the organization gave them a competitive edge in the real world, and 100% of students feel as though GPE aided in their personal development as a student. While we're on the topic of development, allow me to stress the importance of working on sustainable projects. Members of GPE understand that while it may feel nice to think that you are riding in on your steed and being the savior of unhappy and desperate poor orphan children, it's just not the case. All of our projects take into account not only the goals of the NGOs we partner with, but also the goals of the people who are ultimately trying to help. We understand that a group of college students has no real impact during a 2-month stay, but it is our intention to expose volunteers to projects that are sustainable. If we condition students to have instant gratification, the effects of these future leaders could be devastating on countries that are trying to join the developed world. One of our projects in Ghana, for example, works with adolescents and trains them to tutor younger children. These children were only being tutored by volunteers that would come and go with prolonged gaps. If older children knew how to tutor, then the reliance upon external assistance would diminish over time. Another one of our projects focuses on Rwandan graduates and provides a business incubator to students who have just completed entrepreneurial workshops. Many of these students come from different backgrounds, yet a lot of non-governmental organizations tend to focus on rural areas only. This new angle helps future leaders of Rwanda give back to their villages in ways that we cannot. As an organization, we discourage voluntourism, but students are more than welcome to travel about the country after a project has been completed with GPE. In fact, many students will go backpacking together if they have enough money left over. Speaking of money, we completely empathize that students struggle a lot to pay the cost of rent and housing and sometimes even food. We go out of our way to make sure you pay the least amount possible if you're selected for a project with GPE. We conduct fundraising on 3 different levels every year. We fundraise as an entire organization and allocate profits where needed. We lobby SGA for extra funding and apply to special grants. We also host benefit concerts, an annual banquet for prospective donors, as well as bake sales and share nights at restaurants. Each project hosts its own events and is able to keep the money raised to help offset the costs. Each volunteer is encouraged to apply for personal grants, ask for sponsorships, and etc. to help with the cost of plane tickets and vaccinations, as well as a $350 GPE volunteer fee. This is currently the only expenses expected of students. We also provide every volunteer with a $1,200 stipend upon return to the United States. This is intended to reimburse everyone for paying for a plane ticket up front. If you're not convinced to join Global Peace Exchange, then you must already be a Foreign Service Officer, in which case I humbly extend my congratulations. But if you find yourself on the edge of your seat in dire need of extra information, feel free to email me at director@globalpeaceexchange.org. Thank you so much for allowing me to tell you a little bit about GPE, and remember to never let anything stop you from pursuing your goals. Good evening.